So we've talked about edit distance and some of its problems and interesting quirks and features in previous videos. But just a quick recap, edit distance is the number of edits performed to a given translation suggestion and the actual confirmation. So if you have a suggestion with 6 words and you've made 3 changes, you have an edit distance of 50%. Now, what's an alternative or complementary metric to edit distance is time, edit time. And the problem is that even though time seems very straightforward, time is actually really hard to measure. Why? Well, again, when you look at it from a broad overview perspective, seems pretty straightforward. How long did you take for that task? It took 35 minutes, 60 minutes, took me 7 hours. It's just a measure of time. But when you try to measure translation time at scale, you start to realize that there are lots of different aspects to time. So what is time? Is it time that it took you from the moment you clicked on the segment to the moment you confirmed the segment? But what happens if in that interval you actually went and made yourself a cup of coffee? What happened if in that interval you had to pick up your kid at school? What happens if that in that interval you chose to fall asleep for 8 hours, right? So it becomes challenging to know exactly when the start point is, when the end point is. And other than self-reporting and self-control, it becomes complicated for a platform or any given system to detect the exact time that was dedicated to a given translation. Not only that, but time itself isn't necessarily a good measure of effort. Maybe I'm going just very slowly through a translation and I'm not making many changes at all. Maybe my edit distance, as I described previously, is maybe 2-3%, but I'm going very, very slowly. And maybe my edit distance is higher and I'm going very, very quickly. And it becomes challenging to understand the correlation between edit time and any impact in quality and any impact in effort, right? So some people are naturally slow, some people are naturally fast, some people are slow because they're taking a long time to really make complex assessments and inferences over what they're translating. Some people are slow just because they take a long time to read, or maybe they're not comfortable with that given subject matter. So time isn't as straightforward as we would have expected it to be when you look at it as a measurement. And like I said, maybe one of the biggest drawbacks is that at scale, other than self-reporting, it becomes really challenging. The other thing that's super interesting about edit time is that what we observe is that, like I was mentioning previously, there's a decoupling with translation quality, right? So you would expect more time, more quality, but that's not the case. You have, for instance, expert translators who are very, very focused on a specific niche, for instance, who are able to go extraordinarily fast within that niche and still make just the right number of edits. And when we talk about the art of post-editing, right, this ability of reading and confirming with fewest number amount of edits, but making those edits very significant, that's when you realize that time is even harder, right? Maybe you're taking a long time because you're rewriting that sentence, and maybe you're taking a very short time because you're making just that specific nugget of change that's required. So edit time, as much as people like to hold on to it as, let's say, maybe the universal measurement of effort, is easily deconstructed and seen as an ineffective way of measuring, at least by itself, of measuring post-edit effort at scale. All right, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you like this content.